everybody, and welcome back to episode 4 of the K-Swap Tiny Truck. While we're waiting on the rear axle tube to come back from fabrication, we're going to go ahead and dive into getting the front bumper off of this little truck, see what kind of room we have for a radiator upgrade, possible front mount intercooler install. We're going to start pulling the interior out because the inside of this truck is still white the way it came from Honda. It was painted in Japan. It looks like a Mako style paint job to me. Came to us red, but the quality of the paint's not very good. The truck itself is dinged up. We want to get all that straightened out, have the interior of the cab match the outside of the truck itself. Still trying to make my mind up on the exact color that we're going to paint it, but until that rear axle tube comes back, we're just going to start chipping away at other things that we can to keep content coming at you, to not let this build go stale. Thanks for tuning in, and roll the intro. Martha the shop dog is here as always. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's gotten a little colder outside. So when it's cold, Martha wears pretty t-shirts and sometimes pretty dresses. Ham. But anyways, distracted, back to task. I told you guys that these trucks usually come from Japan, and they're like a fleet white color. I think they make a baby blue. I'm not sure if they make any other colors besides that, but you can see the overspray into pink, and then the white cab, and then like, this is pretty common, some surface rust. It's not very clean. This is where the radiator sits. That's how you fill the radiator, because there's no front end of these trucks. That's the radiator fill spot. Huge pain in the butt, even get to. If it overheats, starts stinking up the inside like coolant. Overall, I say with the other little trucks I've seen, the interior on this one's actually in pretty good shape. It's in better shape than my white one, but we're gonna go ahead and start getting all of this out. I think we'll probably have to end up going with like a K-tune style shifter anyways, so I need to get all that out. Gotta figure out how the shifting cables are gonna work. So we're gonna strip this down today, maybe this weekend, see if we can get all this done in a day. We're also gonna pull the front end off, but this is where we're at right now. All right, we're gonna move into getting the interior pulled out. I know there's no one sitting around at home all jazzed up like, finally get to watch some random dude pull the interior out of his truck. I'm gonna do my best to make it entertaining. Lovely assistant Adam, pretty sure he stood us up again today. He's got his own life, his own things to do, but we miss Adam. Eric said he's coming at some point. He had an emergency call with his own job. He had to go get that done first. Hopefully Eric shows up, but we're gonna get the interior pulled. I'm gonna try to make it as entertaining as pulling an interior out of a little truck can be. We're gonna hit you with some time lapse. You know, some quick movements real fast. We're gonna do all that jazz. We're gonna throw some magic at it, try to get multiple angles. And I hope you guys enjoy watching me pull this interior. I'm sure at some point I'm gonna get frustrated, but you won't see that because I'm gonna be moving at such a fast rate of speed that you won't even be able to tell. And then at the end of this video, I'll be like, that was a pretty smooth interior pull. You know it. Interior pull update. Eric got the door panel off. We were struggling to get the window crank out. Eric got it. We didn't get that on video. C-clip, baby. I'm struggling to find a good place in the little truck to mount my phone to do a time-lapse video, so just gonna keep checking in with you guys like this every once in a while. I'm pulling this off now. Right, meow? Meow. Meow. Pro drift shift. We're so close to the interior being out. We're down to the headliner. All right, the interior gut is complete. Going to ensure that when we go in and do paint, that we will have all the room to get in and leave no reveal lines. We found some delicious old crusty Japanese treats chilling in that little hole back there. All the plastics are out. It's very dusty, very dirty. Next step for the interior is simply going to be to get it cleaned up, get that disgusting pile of, I'm going to call it coffee grounds. I know it's not coffee grounds, but I'm going to lie to myself and say this is just coffee. We'll get that cleaned up, start thinking about paint color. All right, welcome back. Today we're breaking down the Acty truck sides. They had giant Honda stickers going down them. They had double-sided tape on them. In an effort to get this done quicker, we used a blowtorch. We burnt the sticker. After it was burnt, on Carlos, we strolled on in to our blast container. We stuck them up on here, gave them a good sandblasting. We took them back to the forklift and we wire willed all the adhesive off of it. Well, all the adhesive we could get off of it. Now what you see is our panel is prepped and ready to go into our strip tank. The sticker's off, we got the adhesive off. We're gonna spray these off with the hose. We're gonna stick them in the strip tank. All right, we're gonna put all this stuff in the strip tank now. We'll leave it in there a couple hours. We'll pull it out in the morning and hopefully it should look good as new, ready for blasting, prep, and powder. Safety first. So these are our panels fresh out of the strip tank. We gave them a quick hose off. I know this doesn't look particularly impressive right now, but the strip tank did its job. It got most of the paint. Body filler, years of crap off these panels. We are going to be throwing them in the big oven. We run into about 400, 450 degrees for about an hour. That's going to get all the impurities in the metal cooked out. That's going to finish up any seam sealer that's on there still. It'll get that nice and loose. Any little bit of paint that's left over from the strip tank, that's going to get nice and crispy. This piece came out really clean. I know it doesn't look extremely clean. The color that you're seeing isn't paint left over. This is actually surface rust for a 30-year-old piece of steel that's been sitting under a truck in Japan. The rust looks bad. It's really not that bad. It will blast off pretty easily in the blast room. We'll get some footage of that later. But before we can do that, we do have to modify this piece. We're going to be changing out these ends, welding on new plates, and that'll give us the ability to use a more standard style rear axle that I talked about earlier. I'm going to do my measurements now, but after that, we're going to be running this piece out to CT Raceworks. All right, these just came out of the oven. You can see what little paint was left is now completely charred, like a fine, well-done steak with a side of ketchup. Everyone's favorite. It's so good. These are now ready to go into the blast container for their final cleanup. It'll take care of all this remaining nastiness, but you can see it flakes right off. All right, we're here today. We got a set of Enkeis for the tiny truck to make sure that we are where we want to be. I'm using the little white one as a fitment dummy. These are actually for a Miata. Trying to find a proper wheel size offset for the little trucks in America is almost impossible. If you want to get a proper set of 13s that are spec'd for these trucks, the only one I found are ssrwheels.com. It's a 3-piece Japanese, very finely made, very expensive wheel. We didn't want to get into that. Don't even know if the hub bore is going to fit. This might have to be machined out. Usually these things need spacers to fit on here anyway. So we're going to dive into that just to get our feet wet on the tiny truck wheel fitment issue. All right, for the moment of truth, we're going to see if this Mazda Miata Enkei will fit on the little Honda Acty truck. My first guess is it's not going to directly fit, but we're going to work through that anyways. Holy crap, it fits. All right, it fits the front. Let's see if it'll fit the rear. But this is a 14x7, 4x100, 19 offset, and we are clearing everything to seat fully on the base. We are very close, but we are not striking. We are not striking the spring at all. So as long as we can keep our tire off of that, and I think we can, we have a tire that's going to have the most minimal amount of stretch that we could get. But I'm very, very impressed and very pleased. Didn't think that was going to happen. Really had plans B, C, and D already in line in my head to get this little wheel on here. But there she sits. Sometimes you just throw crap at the wall and see what sticks, and this time it was the first toss. Right on the wall. All right, let's test the back, see if we get lucky twice. So we did not go 2 for 2. The rear bore on the Acty truck on the stock rear drum is larger. If this was a 54 millimeter bore, I'm assuming that this is a 57. This is a fail, but we will get this on. And to be honest with you, with what we're doing with the red truck, this may still not be an issue because we are not running this rear end. So that's yet to be seen. But if you wanted to be bold enough to run a little spacer, then you could do that and get away with it. And if not, now we know the center bore for the stock drums on the Acty will not take the Miata Enkei, unfortunately. Oh well, better luck next time. I've never claimed to be a Honda Acty mechanic, so I'm really just learning this as I go. I just figured out that this is a cover for the rear, and this is what we were hitting with the Enkei. See? See if the baby Enkei wants to fit now. Oh my Lanta, boys. The baby Enkei fits and hits nothing. It's perfect. So what we just learned today is that a set of Enkeis, 14x7, 19 offset for the Mazda Miata, bolts right up to this. And I think this might be a pretty big thing for the Acty community. I don't see anyone running these because I don't think anyone knows that the center bore actually works perfectly. So go out and get yourself a set of Mazda Miata Enkeis. Be like me. Like, subscribe, follow, please comment. Tell me what you think about my shenanigans. But this is huge. I love what I'm seeing right now. Absolutely love it. All right, crime against humanity. Brand new wheels out of the box. Going into the strip tank. Time to pull the Enkeis out of the strip tank so we can move forward with the powder coating process. Today we're going to take the valve cover off. It's ugly, it's old, it's beat. We're going to get it outside, we're going to get it degreased, we're going to get it in the strip tank, and we're going to put it in rotation to get powder coated with everything else that we're doing with the truck. We already pulled the coil packs, we pulled the bolts, getting ready to lift the valve cover off. Let's see what our junkyard K24 motor actually looks like on the inside. And that's not terrible. It doesn't look burnt up. It looks like whoever had it changed their oil. There's a little scarring on the cam, but nothing crazy. Probably replace that. But all in all, I'm happy. I don't see any obvious damage. We purchased it from a local junkyard. They assured us that the motor ran. I trust the guys there. The guy that sold us the engine I know personally, so I feel pretty confident with it. But with a high mileage, old Japanese motor, you never know what you're going to get yourself into, but I'm happy with it. I like the gold. It means it's somewhat maintained in its life. Wheels, panels, valve cover are off the truck. They've gone through outgassing, they've been taped up, and they are now in the blast room. We're gonna go take a peek at Carlos, doing the sandblasting, getting everything prepped, so hopefully tomorrow we can get some powder coating done. My man looks like an astronaut in there, getting all of our stuff ready for us. Appreciate your work, Carlos. You make all of this very, very, very easy for me doing these things. So shout out to Carlos for making my life easier. He's the man. He's a huge help around here. Thank you, buddy. All right, so we're here in the powder coating booth. We have all 4 of the Enkeis for the little truck. They've been stripped down. They've been outgassed. They have been sandblasted and taped up. We are getting ready to spray prismatic powders, Spanish gold, with their 14 karat gold clear coat top coat afterwards to give it a little extra depth, a little extra pop. So let's get into it. All right, we got our base coat powder on. It's our Spanish gold. We are getting ready to stick these bad boys in the oven and watch the flow out, flow out. So the sides of the truck bed have come out. They are looking pretty good. We have our base coat down to Spanish gold. This is 2 coats of Spanish gold to ensure a nice even gold finish on the truck bed sides. We've done the same thing on the wheels. We are now going to move forward with clear coating both the wheels and the bed sides. They will be getting a different clear coat. The truck beds are getting Casper Clear, which is a matte satin-like finish. I really like it. I've coated a lot of stuff with the Casper Clear. It's one of my favorites, and when I got the opportunity to apply it on one of my own projects, I couldn't resist. Moving into the wheels are getting a prismatic 14 karat gold clear coat on them. It's a much glossier, high shine finish, and it should have a lot more of the metallic flake and help show the gold property. This is our 14 karat gold clear coat. It has been applied, and even though it looks white, once it goes into the oven and reaches that 400-degree mark, it flows out and looks really nice, glossy, and clear. right, everything's out of the oven, and let's take a look. I'm really happy with the way the gold wheels turned out with the high gloss clear, and I'm really happy with the way the satin finish turned out on the bedsides. This is everything that I wanted it to be and more, and I don't want to change a thing. The biggest thing I have going on right now is I don't know what color I want to paint the truck. I'm stuck between EM1 SI Blue and Milano Red from the Integra GSR. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me know. Guys and gals, make your recommendations. If you give me a color, I take a look at it and I'm like, that's the one, that's a banger, then that's the color we're going to paint this little truck. I'm not particularly tied down to anything right now, so please make sure to chime in. Let me know what you think. Let's make this truck as good as it can possibly be. Let's make it beautiful. Let's make it fast. Let's go for it. Thanks for tuning in and watching till the end. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.